This interview is for information only and should not be considered as investment advice or a recommendation to buy shares in the company featured. Welcome to this Stock Box interview.
Joining us today is Ryan Mee, the CEO of Fulcrum Metals, following news that you're starting work at the Sylvanite project. That's the sampling program starting underway at Sylvanite. And this also, of course, follows the news last week from Tech Hughes. But thank you very much, Ryan, for joining us. How are you?
Yes, I'm very good. Recovered from my adventures over the last few weeks in Canada. And I'm delighted to be here talking to you today about recent developments of the company.
Excellent. Well, I mean, this has been sort of much anticipated, hasn't it, by you and shareholders, and the results announced last week from Tech Hughes there, showing those initial gold recovery grades at 59.4. And I think in the RNS you said you were thrilled with the exceptional gold grades from our initial sampling. So I wonder if we can just get your reaction to this, first of all, because we did want to speak, but I know you were away in Canada, as you mentioned.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, we put those results out, nearly 60%, and they are truly outstanding. And, they could be completely disruptive for the market. At Tech Hughes, there was no historic kind of metallurgical studies or anything. So we started from scratch. It's important to remember refractory gold, you're looking at less than a 40% recovery rate using non-cyanide technologies. So actually, from a standing start, a cold start, over the last, 3 or 4 months to get to the point on our initial leaching results using extract technology of 60%, it's quite stunning. And we're all really excited, of course.
Yeah, good. And you're now doing the same thing with the Sylvanite project, aren't you? You're sending those samples have gone to extract for effectively the same testing. Yeah,
so the sampling's underway at the moment. So they'll be off to extract testing facility very shortly. And, it's important that we keep this momentum up. We're really excited about the results we've got out at Tech Hughes. There's no reason why we won't get similar at Sylvanite, and there's no reason why we will not optimize this leaching recovery rates to significantly higher than 60%.
Okay, and I know with both of these projects combined, we've spoken before, it gives you exposure to approximately 200,000 ounces of gold in tailings here. And I think you previously stated that Fulcrum are first movers in this tech, and of course a phased approach, which is what was talked about in the recent RNS with Extract there, to prove and advance this. And this was of course part of phase 1. So could we perhaps just go through the different phases? Have you completed phase 1, moving into phase 2 now, or there's still a little bit of work to do to refine the phase 1 samples?
Yeah, so a very, very quick overview of the phased approach here. So the first one is to get those initial auger samples, pan out the metallurgical and mineralogical, that's a bit of a tongue twister, isn't it? Composition of the tailings, do that initial leaching, and then we head off into phase 2, which is the initial conceptual study, which will give us flow sheet designs and what the plant might look like. Now, we continue with optimizing these leach tests, parallel to these conceptual studies. We've also got exploration plans in to do a wider auger sampling program so that we cover the entire tailings area. So we've got multiple streams actually in operation at Tech Hughes, so we can advance this asset really quickly.
Good. So when would you be looking to commence the phase 2 part of it's a 4-phase process, isn't it?
Yeah, so phase 1, testing sampling, phase 2, conceptual study, phase 3, larger sampling, phase 4, final conceptual study, which is aimed at pre-feasibility kind of level studies.
Yeah,
so that's,
okay.
A lot of confidence to commit to that construction.
Okay.
But it's I know it's set out as a very kind of 1, 2, 3, 4, but in reality, we're running a lot of these things alongside to make sure that we move quickly through these phased approaches to get to the end of that program. As you say, we're first movers in this. You won't see anyone working with extract here in Canada on these tailings. So it's disruptive technology. We're first movers. We've got two projects that we know have gold. We know the leaching works, the optimization's underway, and we're quickly advancing these projects. And now, excitingly, we've got second projects up and running now. So
Okay. Yeah.
hugely exciting for shareholders and us as a business as we build out our tailings division.
Excellent. So you're very happy with that circa 60% recovery rate seen so far. Would you hope to get that a bit better, both from the Tech Hughes sort of sampling optimization and from Sylvanite? Because I think from past conversations, Sylvanite perhaps looked like it could be better recovery rates anyway.
Yeah, now don't forget, right, Tech Hughes, these initial results, it's not pre-treated, it's not regrinded. This is dirt out the ground, mixed up into composites and, leach tested. So there's been no pre-treatment whatsoever. The Sylvanite, where they said, yes, you could get up to 70%, that included things like roasting, some pre-treatment and potential regrinding. So in actual fact, you need to look at both sides of the coin. So, what the leaching, what have you had to do to get to those rates? We've done nothing to the actual tailings material at all. This is as received. So to get to 60% without doing any of those things is very material. It's actually outstanding.
Okay.
And, when you have to get into the arena of regrinding tailings, that adds substantial costs. So this gives us not only the huge encouragement in terms of the technology, but also the actual tailings themselves are lending themselves really well to this technology to be low cost.
Okay, excellent. And this whole phased approach, this four-phased approach, this feeds into the licensing agreement that you need to agree with Extract. Is that right, to actually deploy their technology and get reprocessing these dumps? I mean, how advanced are the discussions, and how much of a priority is it to come to an agreement with Extract sooner rather than later?
Well, the Extract obviously have this agreement with Bechtel, which was signed earlier in the year. So we aren't dealing with small companies. These are, multi-billion-dollar companies. They have their own framework of progress. Now, the natural way of doing these things actually is through these four-phase programs, and then at the end of it, come to a licensing agreement on a project basis at the end of that four-phase program. And that's so you can look at all the economics to make sure that the project works and that any licensing agreement isn't going to materially affect that project. What we've shown with our work with Extract, we've moved quickly, we've got two projects. That's obviously give us an opportunity to almost turn that process a little bit around in terms of bringing that licensing discussions much earlier in this stage. The discussions are going really well. Obviously, no one has this kind of early stage license with Extract and Bechtel. So this is us, making first mover advantage, basically try and pay out and actually really cement the relationship going forwards. We've got a relationship with Extract and
Excellent. And this is, of course, the main focus of the company. You've got the refining testing samples from Tech Hughes there, and of course the samples now sent off from Sylvanite, so we can expect to see some results from there in terms of what you're getting on the leaching grades that are being returned. What are some of the key sort of points, would you say, that you're watching out for over the next few weeks? When would you expect to see some more material news on the process as you go down this phased approach?
Look, so there'll be obviously the optimization of leaching with the Tech Hughes. For Sylvanite, we'll be looking to verify the gold grade content of the tailings. That'll be the first thing from there. And then that will go straight into the leaching testing. And then we'll go through the optimization leaching testing, and then moving Sylvanite on to, phase two. We're trying to catch Sylvanite up to where Tech Hughes is. So we're pressing on really hard here. Obviously, Tech Hughes, Sylvanite, 2-3 kilometers away from each other. There might be some possible synergies that we need to have a look at. So we're pushing hard, Mark.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much for your time and that update today, Ryan Mee, CEO of Fulcrum Metals.
Thanks for having me, Mark. Great to be back.
If you enjoyed this interview, then give us a thumbs up, a like or a retweet. Subscribe to us on YouTube or follow us on Twitter and hit that notification bell to be the first to know when we release new content. There's loads of great content on our website too, across all our programs at stockboxmedia.com. Thank you for watching.